Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Wesana Health Holdings channel, an integrated life science company forefronting the psychedelic sector. Joining us is CEO Daniel Carlesso. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks, brother.
Always a pleasure to have you, man. We got lots to dive down into. You guys have been releasing news like crazy. It looks like your stock was seeing a little bit of that news come out. But you guys are basically building out your third clinic, a 3,000 square foot building in Naperville, Illinois, for inclusive ketamine and mental health treatment. Break this down for us. What are you guys doing there?
Yeah, so after the acquisition of the two clinics and SciTech that came along with a SaaS platform, so essentially we integrate people's wearables into our clinics and track them inside and outside of the clinic. The clinics were operating, the two clinics, one in Millennium Park in Chicago, and then one in Oak Brook, Illinois, were operating at about 50% capacity. And with some small media marketing and then a few B2B therapist relationship referral networks that we've set up, we were able to get these two clinics operating at over 90% capacity within 60 days. And so that was the trigger to open up a new facility, 3,000 square feet. So it dwarfs the size of the 1,020 square foot facility in Millennium Park, and then 1,200 square feet in Oak Brook. And what we're doing there is, just continuing our expansion of these mental health facilities with psychiatrist oversight, inclusive of ketamine. So one really big distinction between us and what I equate the other ketamine mills to are opiate or pill mills, where you have anesthesiologists and you have nurses not providing any psychotherapy after they treat somebody with FDA-approved ketamine. It's dangerous, and we don't take that line. We believe that we're building a clinical network of mental health facilities with the proper oversight that will also then be inclusive of MDMA when it gets approved, and then psilocybin when that also gets approved. So currently right now, our services include insurance remunerated psychiatry, classic medicine prescription work. We use pharmacogenetics and hormone testing to make sure that we personalize treatment and make sure that people qualify for the right medicine or they qualify for ketamine. Now, the split between those two services looks like about 60-40, 60% ketamine, 40% classic psychiatry with the psychotherapy. And what we're doing in Naperville is a 2.0 model. So we have the foundation that's working, that's generating a lot of revenue. And then in Naperville, what we'll do is add in two more forms of ketamine. So currently we're offering Spravato and IV. In Naperville, we'll offer Spravato, IV ketamine, as well as IM ketamine, intramuscular injections, as well as oral. And then we'll use the same advanced diagnostics and actually include other diagnostics that I've come across with functional neurology in my journey. And then we will also add in TMS, which will see our margins go from 15% to 30% in that clinic alone, as well as DBT therapy, so talk therapy, and a communal aspect where people will be able to come and get together to talk about the psychotherapy and the experiences they've had from ketamine. So it's a really great model. We believe that this model that we're building, patent protected, will integrate into big healthcare. We've already started having some of those discussions. And we're excited about building really the first mental health clinical network that won't deny people from coming in, and that people won't have to wait like they have to wait at these other hospital systems to get a ketamine infusion or a TMS treatment for 2 to 3 months. We get people in within 7 to 14 days. So we're really excited, and we're going to keep expanding rapidly.
Yeah, it's nice to see you guys forefronting this where it matters most. And on top of that, I think it's important to iterate that you guys are also leaning into the insurance side of people's lives, which also kind of bears the burden of some of the margins you're talking about there, which again, I think is very prevalent. But that's incredible, man. I love to hear that. And on top of that, from your pipeline, I mean, you guys got positive feedback from your pre-IND meeting with the FDA surrounding your SANA 13. Do you want to break down that compound for us?
For sure, yeah. So SANA 13 is a patent-protected novel drug development program. Our lead indication is traumatic brain injury-related major depressive disorder, and it utilizes a novel method of use in that we use high-dose psilocybin, which will be done in a clinical network like we're building out. And then we have an at-home therapy that'll live on your counter, not unlike the classic SSRI or antidepressants that are prescribed. from a pharmacy. You can take it home, and it will be delved out similar to birth control, where the patient won't know if they're taking placebo or the actual drug, as a continuum of care therapy. So if people go to our website and they look at our deck, you can see that we beat out the animal data that we have produced through a third-party independent lab. We beat out Compass's only clinical dose by about 64%. So we saw a 64% improvement when you couple the loading dose or a clinical dose with an at-home microdose therapy. Our at-home therapy combines psilocybin and CBD. And again, in an FDA-validated model, we were able to prove that we help with the antidepressant effects in these animals by over 64%, which is really, I know that there's a lot of confusion out there. But there is no magic bullet for anything, right? So the fact that we want to try to just bring it into a clinic, give somebody a really high dose, and then let them go back into the world and get depression again, and then come back into the clinic, that'll never work in the healthcare system. So we took a lot of time with our briefing book. So what you have to do before you even request a pre-IND meeting with the FDA is basically make your scientific arguments. You have to create this data, which we have. We included human data from not only myself, but 5 other people. And we got extremely good feedback because we were extremely diligent in that briefing booklet. And so we have a clear path forward now from the FDA, the largest regulatory body on earth, to develop SANA 13 for traumatic brain injury related major depressive disorder. And it's a big milestone. It's one of the first. It came on Friday. I was able to enjoy it with my team for 2 days, and now we're back to work. And we're going to do some follow-on indications because of how positive the feedback is. We're going to choose an orphan disease that we believe we can get fast track status, and that psilocybin and cannabidiol or CBD will work really well for. So everybody's really pumped up, man. I don't believe in coincidences, right? As a CEO of a life sciences company, I don't necessarily get to talk about the spirituality aspect that this medicine works on, but it's Brain Injury Awareness Month in March, and there's no coincidence that this positive feedback came through during this month to provide hope to millions of traumatic brain injury survivors out there that we're on a very good path to get the first approval for the first ever FDA approved medicine for traumatic brain injury related symptoms.
I love how entrenched you are, and it really shows kind of the mission-driven statement and how kind of intertwined, because you really sound like you know what you're talking about here on all these different facets and just how you're vertically integrating this business. But on that note, Daniel, I appreciate your time today. Thanks so much for coming out.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. On that note, I pass the question off to you folks. Let us know what you think in that comment section below. Consider subscribing, because obviously as more news comes down the wire, we will update you here. But stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, I look forward to catching you in the next one.